The mood in Baltimore turned heavy after that loss to the Lions. Everyone was looking for someone to blame, and all the heat landed on the defense, especially defensive coordinator Zach Orr. But then Kyle Hamilton stepped up and broke the silence in the most brutally honest way. He didn't hide behind excuses. He didn't sugarcoat it. He said exactly what a lot of people didn't want to hear. And what he said completely changes the way you look at this Ravens defense. It wasn't about the scheme. It wasn't about the play calls. It was about something much more direct, something that puts the spotlight squarely on the guys on the field. The big question now is, will this speech be the turning point, or is this defense still going to be the Achilles heel of the season? Plenty of people in Baltimore are already talking like the season's over. After 3 games and just 1 win, the vibe is heavy, almost like the sky is falling. But Kyle Hamilton was quick to say, pump the brakes. He gets the frustration. He knows it feels like the end of the world, but he made it clear there's a lot of football left. This is no time to throw in the towel. Hamilton reminded everyone that this group has been through tough stretches before and found a way to respond. He spoke like someone who believes in the locker room, in their ability to handle the pressure and come out stronger. It was almost as if he was saying, we've seen this movie before, and we know how to flip the script. That confidence doesn't come out of nowhere. It comes from experience, from a team that's already been through the fire. At the same time, the safety pointed out how misleading the outside narrative can be. The offense is putting up big numbers, but the defense has become the easy target. For him, you can't get lost in all the noise. The season isn't decided in September, and the Ravens have the talent to write a completely different ending. That long-term view is what fuels Hamilton's confidence. And that's the weight behind his words. You can't treat every loss like a disaster. The team has to stay locked in, clean up mistakes, and trust the process. That's the message he's pushing inside the locker room and outside of it. This isn't about panic. It's about responsibility and how you respond. Still, Hamilton knows exactly where the finger pointing has been aimed in Baltimore, at defensive coordinator Zach Orr. And that's where he chose to hit back hardest. In the middle of all this criticism, Hamilton didn't hesitate to stand up for Zach Orr. He said flat out that it's unfair to dump all the blame on the defensive coordinator because Orr is doing his job, preparing the team, studying opponents, and designing game plans that put players in the right spots to succeed. To Hamilton, blaming only the coach is just picking the easy target without looking at the full picture. That public defense speaks volumes about the locker room. When a leader like Hamilton talks like that, he's sending a message not just to fans and the media, but also to his teammates. This isn't a coaching problem. This is on us. That's leadership in its purest form. Stepping up and making it clear the responsibility can't just be dropped on one man's shoulders. Hamilton even painted a vivid picture to make his point. He said, Orr would love to be out there on the field helping, but he can't. And that's the truth. No matter how much a coordinator studies or prepares, once the ball is snapped, it's the players who control the outcome. If the execution isn't there, the best scheme in the world won't save you. That shifts the whole conversation. This isn't about systems or strategy. It's about commitment and discipline on every single play. Hamilton wanted it crystal clear. Zach Orr is not the problem, and blaming him as if he was a lazy, oversimplified take. And from there, Hamilton went straight to the heart of his message. If the defense isn't working, it's because the players aren't doing their jobs the way they need to. Hamilton didn't dance around it. This isn't on the coaching staff. He said point blank that it's the 11 guys on the field who have to get it right. The coach can draw it up, but the players are the ones who have to execute. That's his way of saying the defense can't keep hiding behind excuses. The responsibility belongs to everyone wearing that jersey. And that kind of blunt accountability carries weight. You don't usually hear players admit the breakdown is in execution. It's easy to say the play call didn't work or the plan wasn't the best. But Hamilton ripped away that safety net and laid it bare. If the defense breaks down, it's because someone didn't do their job. There's no getting around it. He also made it clear that effort alone isn't enough. Nobody's questioning the heart or the hustle. That's not the issue. But in the NFL, effort without precision doesn't win games. If you're a step out of position, if you react a second too late, if you blow the read, the opponent takes advantage. That's what Hamilton hammered home. It's not enough to run hard. You have to be in the right place at the right time. By putting that responsibility on himself and his teammates, Hamilton is setting up a turning point. He's calling on the defense to own their mistakes and answer on the field. And that ties directly into his bigger point. Effort means nothing if it's not paired with execution. Something he drove home even harder.
All right, we're already past the halfway point of this video, but before we continue, I noticed you haven't left a like yet. It's really important because it helps YouTube keep showing you my content so I can keep bringing you the best news about the Baltimore Ravens. So go ahead and hit that like button. It's free and it really helps. Thanks. Now let's get back to it.
Hamilton was crystal clear. This defense is playing hard, but that alone doesn't cut it. He acknowledged that everyone is leaving it all out there, but heart without discipline doesn't win in the NFL. For him, the problem isn't effort, it's precision. It's about being in the right place at the right time with the right read. That kind of honesty shows real maturity. He didn't sugarcoat it. Admitting that the defense hasn't been sharp is admitting there's a technical and mental gap that has to be fixed. It's easy to talk about fight and passion, but Hamilton brought the conversation back to reality. Games in NFL are won on details, and if you miss those details, it doesn't matter how hard you play. He basically drew a line between effort and results. Dedication is great, but if it isn't matched with clean execution, it's meaningless. That raises the stakes for everyone in that locker room. It's not enough to show energy. You have to turn that energy into plays that actually change the game. That's why this point matters so much. It highlights that the defense's problem isn't work ethic, it's results. And if Hamilton keeps pounding this message, it's because he knows the next test will demand exactly that, the discipline to turn effort into real production. And of course, that next test isn't just against any opponent. It's against Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Hamilton closed his message with authority. This isn't a coaching problem. This is a player problem. He said the defense has to take ownership and fix the mistakes on the field. No one's coming in from the outside to save them. No one can cover up the truth with excuses. This is about every single guy looking in the mirror and admitting they have to be better now. And the timing couldn't be more critical. The next game is against the Chiefs. Sure, Kansas City's offense hasn't been firing on all cylinders yet this season, but everyone knows how dangerous Patrick Mahomes can be. If this defense keeps making the same mistakes, he'll make them pay. Hamilton knows it, and that's why he put the weight of accountability directly on the players. There's no more margin for error. That kind of statement changes the whole narrative. Instead of throwing blame on Zach, or Hamilton shine a light on the real issue, execution on the field. By doing that, he's pulling the whole group into the spotlight, drawing a line between excuses and results. His message is basically, the time is now. There's no turning back. With that speech, Hamilton not only defended his coach, he set the tone for the entire locker room. Against Kansas City, the defense will have a chance to prove they've learned the lesson, or show that the criticism in Baltimore isn't going away anytime soon. At the end of the day, Kyle Hamilton didn't just defend Zach, he turned the spotlight back on the players. He made it clear that pointing fingers outside the field doesn't matter when it's the 11 guys on the turf who have to make the plays. That honesty stripped everything down to reality. The talent is there, but without discipline and execution, this defense is going to keep hearing the noise. It also showed Hamilton's leadership. He didn't dodge, he didn't spin, he didn't redirect. He embraced the pressure and put it squarely on the locker room, where it belongs. And with the Chiefs on deck, this is the kind of wake-up call that could change the course of the season or make the criticism grow even louder. So now the real question is, do you think Hamilton's words will actually spark this defense, or are the Ravens going to keep running into the same problems week after week? One thing's for sure, Baltimore has no room left for slip-ups, and this team has to prove against Kansas City that it can respond.
And if you, just like me, are passionate about the world of football and want to learn more about the Ravens' legacy, don't leave this video without sharing it with that friend who is also a Baltimore Ravens fan and will love this content. See those video suggestions on your screen? The first one was handpicked just for you, and the other is a recommendation from YouTube itself.